The Tajik Civil War, 1992 to 1997, was a brutal and complex conflict that erupted shortly after the collapse of the Soviet Union, plunging the newly independent Central Asian Republic into chaos. Though the Cold War formally ended in 1991, the war in Tajikistan can be seen as a lingering proxy conflict shaped by Cold War legacies, regional power struggles, and competing visions for the nation's future. This documentary explores the origins, dynamics, and consequences of the Tajik Civil War, a tragic chapter in post-Soviet history marked by political fragmentation, ethnic tensions, and foreign interference. Background: independence and fragile foundations. Tajikistan, a mountainous and ethnically diverse republic, was one of the Soviet Union's poorest regions. Its population was a mosaic of Tajiks, Uzbeks, Russians, and other ethnic groups, with a history of tribal loyalties and local power bases. When the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, Tajikistan declared independence but inherited a weak government and fragile institutions. The Soviet-era power structure, dominated by regional elites, fractured along regional, clan, and ideological lines. Causes of conflict: political fragmentation and ethnic divisions. Tensions quickly escalated between pro-government forces, largely from the Leninabad and Kalab regions in the north and south, representing former communist elites. Opposition groups, comprising liberal reformers, Islamic revivalists, and representatives from marginalized regions like Garm and Gorno-Badakhshan. The opposition accused the government of corruption and nepotism, while government forces labeled the opposition extremists. Outbreak of war and warring factions. In 1992, following disputed elections and growing unrest, Tajikistan descended into civil war. The conflict was characterized by fragmented armed groups with shifting alliances, ethnic and regional violence, including brutal massacres and forced displacements. The rise of the United Tajik Opposition (UTO), a coalition of Islamist, democratic and regional factions fighting the government. The war devastated the country, killing an estimated 50,000 to 100,000 people and displacing hundreds of thousands. Cold War legacies and foreign involvement. Though the Cold War had ended, its influence lingered in Tajikistan's conflict. Russia, aiming to maintain influence in its former Soviet territories, supported the Tajik government with military aid and peacekeeping forces. Neighboring Uzbekistan and Afghanistan played complex roles, often supporting various factions to protect their interests. Islamist militants, some inspired by broader regional Islamist movements, joined opposition ranks, raising concerns about extremism. The war became a proxy battleground for regional powers and remnants of Cold War-era geopolitical struggles in Central Asia. Peace process and aftermath. After years of stalemate and devastating human cost, a peace agreement was signed in 1997 between the government and the United Tajik Opposition, brokered by Russia and the United Nations. The peace deal included power-sharing arrangements, integration of opposition fighters into the national army, guarantees for political pluralism. Since then, Tajikistan has made strides in rebuilding but remains politically authoritarian under President Emomali Rahman, who emerged from the conflict's turmoil. The Tajik Civil War reflects how Cold War legacies persisted beyond the USSR's collapse, influencing conflicts through ethnic divisions, regional rivalries, and competing ideologies. It also illustrates the challenges faced by fragile new states in managing diversity, political transition, and foreign influence. Understanding the Tajik Civil War provides insight into the complexities of post-Cold War geopolitics and the enduring impact of superpower competition on local struggles for identity, power, and peace.